Hey everybody, Leslie here. Going to talk about handling change as a paralegal. Um, there are many instances where I've had to just take a deep breath and sigh and not get upset and then try to problem solve. And I'll talk about that one instance where this occurred. But let's talk about what a paralegal job is not. For the most part, it is not being an attorney. You're not licensed to be an attorney. You are hired to be an assistant to the attorney. Now, conversations I've had recently with some people, I think they're kind of shocked by this and the fact that they have the wrong picture of what a paralegal does. Yes, we do research and we do work on documents and all of that, but there's a high percentage of what we do is clerical, and it can be quite diverse depending on the area of law you go into. Okay, so let's talk about what happens at times. You could be focused and working on a particular project, and you are asked to go help with something critical needs to be filed and worked on, and that whatever you're working on that was critical before that can be put off to the side. But you have to talk to the attorney about what is it that you were just working on. Is it okay if you put that off to the side? If they're giving you permission to do that, go right ahead, but open it up to conversation. Okay, so it's okay if I leave this other by the wayside. Sometimes they'll say, well, I want both done. Might not be humanly possible. And all you can do is try your best, but you have to communicate with the attorney. Even if you're an introvert, and I tend to be a combo, introvert, extrovert, you have to communicate. What is going on? Is this okay? Put the ball in their court to make the decision. You don't make the decision. They do. Take all that stress off yourself, okay? For anything to go kaplooey or go totally wrong later. If you just make that decision on your own, you may be in for a very angry attorney who didn't want you to make that decision. That is not your decision to make, okay? So don't assume, go and talk. Be open to being pulled off of projects when they need you to go do something else. The only time this gets a little crazy is if you're working for two attorneys and there sometimes can be jealousy between the two attorneys over utilization of your services, and someone's getting their work done before the other one. I had that happen in corporate and read the Riot Act in front of my coworkers, and that was because the vice president of my division had a 3-martini lunch. Truth. Had a 3-martini lunch, which he did regularly, came back from that, was feeling no pain, and read me the Riot Act when normally he would not have even cared whose work I was working on. And I left. I was ready to quit that job that day. I was so angry and hurt. And it was a place I loved working. And it was not a law firm, it was a corporate job in New Jersey. And I went into the bathroom and just stayed there for about 15 minutes and then came out, and my boss said, just cool your jets and don't make any rash decisions, because she knew me. And I don't know if she said something to him, but he came out and apologized to me. And I said, it's okay. And he goes, no, it's not okay that I acted that way. It's not okay. And I'm glad he said that because I was young. I was 19 years old. Be sure that you're not making assumptions. Bad behavior is from someone like that is not acceptable. Should never be acceptable. That's not a mature person. That's an idiot who's drinking too much, right? So when somebody comes in, and when you go into the law firm, it's not your decision to make as to how to prioritize your work, when it looks like there's a time crunch. So you have to clarify with the attorney, do you want me to work on this or this? Because if there are 2 or 3 critical items, make the attorney decide that, okay? So be open to being pulled into an emergency situation, but then you have to clarify with the attorney, is, putting this on the wayside, off to the side, is that okay? Number 2, never let this occur without conversation, okay? I was hired to manage many, many cases for a lawyer. I left a decent job, went to work for him. It was a great paralegal job where I would be managing the cases and arranging depositions and hearings and everything that a paralegal does. I loved doing that. However, he was, to put it mildly, he was wanting to work with another woman in the firm. And I found all this out later, okay? So there was an orchestration going on behind the scenes of moving me to another attorney and him getting this other woman to come over to work for him. So that occurred. That was told to me in front of other employees, not privately. Mistake number 1 by the office manager, who was not good at his job. Number 2, they were switching me to a job that was highly clerical, almost no paralegal work involved. I was not managing cases. I was not setting up hearings or depositions. I was typing all day long. So that is what I did in the beginning of my career. I wanted something different. That's why I took the job I took. Okay, so here they are changing my career. I was not happy with this. I went to my car. I talked to my spouse. He said, go talk to the managing partner. And I wasn't sure anything would come of it. Within 6 weeks, I had my old job back. And it pays to stand up for yourself, okay? Eventually, that attorney ended up going back to going to another firm, and I ended up being hired at that firm. So it was worth fighting for my job. Don't let anybody change your career. When you hire on in a certain job and they just change it, and what the type of work you're doing is not what you want to be doing, then you can't control everything they do. It's heart-wrenching when that happens. I'm sure I'm not the only one it's happened to. It was the first time in my career that it's happened. And then I would go talk to the powers that be, and see what can be done. If nothing, then you're going to have to find somewhere else to work, because your career is important to make it what you want it to be, the type of work you want to work on, okay? So sometimes there are changes like that are gut-wrenching, and you have to solve it. Number 3, don't be an island, assist the team. I walked into a situation, I was in my office working on a project, and an attorney came in and said, will you please go in the conference room and help them? And I'm like, okay. He said, I need you guys to put your heads together and figure out how to do this. And we did. It was a notebook that was in disarray and needed to be organized, but there was one that was totally organized, and it would have taken till, I'm telling you, 9 o'clock at night to organize that notebook properly, just like the other one. What we did was just copy the other notebook twice, so that there were 3 total copies, and we had our file clerk do that, and problem solved, and we could all go home at a normal time. I was called in to help solve the issue. It was solved, but work as a team if possible, and build bridges. Don't tear bridges down. Don't burn them. Don't be an island unto yourself. It will not pay off. And you have to develop that attitude the day one on the job. Because once you start, it's like being the new person in school. You've got to establish some things, who you are. Otherwise, they're not going to trust you, and they won't include you, and you'll be known as the outsider, the non-team player. Don't expect that to work in your favor at a law firm. Okay, so number 4 is an attorney walks in who you do not technically work for, and he needs you to help him. I've had an attorney come in and had a dictation. And when I say dictation, people now are using digital files, and yes, they still have dictation. Some attorneys to type their own letters, and then you do the formatting. But a lot of it depends on the age of the attorney. Um, but an attorney came in and he had 6 letters that he needed typed up, and there was nobody to help him. His assistant was not there that day or something, and I said, okay. And I got it done within 35 minutes. He looked them over, he signed them, we got them out copied before we sent them out and all that. He went in and asked somebody else to help him, and that paralegal refused because he didn't work for that man. That is not a wise thing to do. Your days will be numbered if you do things like that and turn it down. If it's because their paralegal is inept and doesn't know how to do a lot of things, then that will have to be handled with the office manager and come to a solution. But when it's a one-time deal, once in a blue moon, then try to help out unless you're on a critical project and you need to get something out and you just don't have the time. But you need to take into consideration the impact of refusal to work with an attorney who's a partner in the law firm, or not even a partner, and the repercussions from that. Don't be unwise and refuse. And of course there are extenuating circumstances. Maybe you cannot because you're working on a legal brief and there is no time. Then you have to be upfront about that and say why, and don't just say you can't. But those are some of the changes. Sometimes a law firm dissolves. The partners don't want to work together. They dissolve the company and you're out of a job. These changes are hard. But that's why I want you to build a career for yourself and not look at it. If you look at this as just 9 to 5, you're not protecting yourself. You can't slide through this job and treat it as if the workload doesn't matter and you're a slacker. You'll get what you get then. But if you look at it like you're building something for yourself, then you'll always be able to find a job because you're building a rock solid reputation, a high level reputation for good work. Okay? All right, so that is it for today. Be ready for changes because they always occur. Doesn't matter if it's a law firm or not. In most workplaces, they occur. Be ready and protect yourself as much as possible, okay? And be a team player. I'm an introvert, extrovert. More often than not, I'd just like to be in my office doing the work. Excuse me. But I do and am required to interact with people and to help them when they need it. So be wise about that. Okay. All right. Have a great day. Hope this was helpful to you. Any comments, any questions, post them below. Don't forget, for those who have enrolled in the Paralegal Inner Circle class this time around, this launch, I'm applauding you. Thank you for joining. And for those who want to join, tonight at midnight, it gets at 12:01, registration will be shut down, and then the wait list link will be put up for the next session. So remember, you only have till midnight to enroll, and then it's gone for several months. And so I hope you'll join us. People are going through the training within the course, and I did a live video today in our private group. If you are just looking at this career for the first time and you're kind of on the fence and you want to ask some questions, go to my group called Paralegal Break-In on Facebook. Just look for Paralegal Break-In in the search area on Facebook and then ask to join, okay, and answer the question that is there for you to answer. All right, so don't forget, tonight's the night. 12 o'clock is the bewitching hour. It'll be done. The class will be, the registration will be closed. So I will put a link below in the description box if you want to enroll or check it out. The link will take you to a page that gives you more information and a video. And what else can I tell you? The first step, I always say, is get my book, Legal Break-In. on Amazon if you want an insider's view of the career. And it's 97 pages. It's an easy read. And you can get Kindle version or paperback. Easy, easy to read. And the second step is this class, the Paralegal Inner Circle class. So as soon as I'm done here, I'm posting just in case you want to check out the info page. So, oh, hey, let me put my glasses on. Okay, Cook, I'm glad you're here. By the way, I don't know if you got my email. Look for my email. Did you get it? If not, it went into your spam folder. There was 2 emails, same email, but they went out from 2 different locations with a link to come into the private Facebook group if you want. You don't have to, but if you want. I did a live video in there today with just extra stuff. So it's worth it to go in there and just get extra here and there training, and people ask questions there, and that's what that group is for. But be sure to check your spam folder, because it will be coming from paralegalcoffeetalk@yahoo.com. Okay, and then if you want to come to the group, that's great. If not, no problem at all. Yeah, well, I mean, that's there for you if you want it. Okay, but that's where I can do live videos here. I can't do them on the platform. I mean, they're there, the class is there, but it's just extra stuff. People, and what I mean by extra training, people ask questions there. That's the purpose of the group. And they're not likely to ask questions within the course platform, but that's what the Facebook group is for. So I can't post that stuff on the Paralegal Coffee Talk page because this is a private group, and I can't have everybody have access to it, just the members that have paid. Okay, so that's up to you. And you can become a member of, I mean, you can become, I think you can just get on Facebook, right? Or there might be an issue with that or something, but that's up to you. It's your choice. But I had somebody ask a question today, and that's when I do an answer via live video, and then it's available for replay. So, all right, so I am going to close off the video. Thanks for being here. Glad you were on, K-Calc. Really good to see you. And so the link to the group is in that email, okay, if you haven't seen it. All right, so have a great day, and I will talk to you all in the next live, more than likely.